Well, here we are. I guess it's my turn to add to Season 2 of YouTube's Biggest Art Collab. But what should I add to it? I've always been obsessed with knights and things from medieval times, but gosh, I guess I'll just start doodling around and see what comes up. This is pretty much how I start every painting, just get my sketchbook out and freeform funny ideas and weird thoughts. And once I start getting an idea down, I generally take a picture of it and put it in Procreate and doodle on it some more. Kind of, refine the drawing. Some people ask me why I use Procreate or Photoshop, but, I've been working with computers for my entire life, ever since I was 18. I'm 47 now, and working in the video game industry and all that back in the days, I just figured out shortcuts and ways to save paper. So, yeah, I'll doodle around on the computer and get my composition down that way, and then just take it to paint it later. Here's an example of one of my favorite knights, the Good Knight from the painting of the same title from a few years back. I'm still not sure if it's going to be a knight in here, but I'll keep messing around with it and see what happens. The fun thing about this process is sometimes you just don't realize the idea is right there in front of you. It's funny, for some reason, for me, it's always been rabbits. Ever since I was a little kid, from Watership Down to Saki Yojimbo, Bugs Bunny, Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, and of course, the White Rabbit from Alice in Wonderland. I find him showing up in my work from time to time, and it's just a hard one to pass up, the opportunity to go down the rabbit hole. I thought it would be fun to reference my White Rabbit from my painting, The Castle Meeting, just to see him on the other side and just a redraw of him, so here goes. It's also a great opportunity for me to bring in my dad's pocket watch that he left with me before he moved to Washington. I've painted this watch a few times and always loved to paint it with the White Rabbit. Over the last year or so, I've been slowly teaching myself how to sculpt in 3D by using Nomad Sculpt on the iPad, and I didn't really use this for the painting at all, but I just thought it'd be fun to create it in my free time in the evening, and I wanted to use it as reference, but I kind of got into the painting before I actually sculpted this. I just thought I'd throw this in here as an example of how sometimes I make reference for some of my other paintings, and it really helps you with finding light and shadow. This is a good opportunity to talk about how this whole project actually even got started. It started with 1000, who did this project last year and passed the painting around from one YouTube artist to another, and it just made a wonderful collaboration piece that spanned the whole world, actually. Here we have 1000, and then for this year, we got Kipto coming in right after him, and these guys started collaborating and just did amazing work. And from Kipto, it went to the amazing Jess Karp, who did just a really beautiful piece, and the character she created at the very top of the piece is what I really was bouncing my idea off of. I kind of was thinking of her character as Alice, and I would bring in my White Rabbit to, have a conversation, continue the story around the painting. And once I finally have the package, it's time to unbox this thing and get started. Hold up, what? Just kidding. I always put a surface of matte medium down before I start painting. Makes the paint go on like butter. Alright, I'm gonna shut up now. It's time to start painting. piece, I figured it'd be easiest to transfer my sketch by using a projector. I often use a projector. I also do a grid method and a paper graphite transfer, but this seemed to work out with less mess in this instance. And with that one little rabbit paw, my part of this collaboration is finished. So I'm signing it off on the back. And in just a second, you get to see what the finished piece, well, finished up until this point, looks like. So now we come to the very important part of this process, and we're going to introduce the next artist. People often ask me who my inspirations are, and that word inspired, who inspires you? It goes without saying there's a very large list, but probably at the top of it is this next guy. And I just thought I would aim high and shoot for the stars with my ask and try to get this artist involved in this project who I've just looked up to for so many years and for so many reasons, and I think you guys will be happily surprised. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce you to
What's this? Simkins. You want me to join your gang again? Looks like you're in trouble with the law. We haven't worked together for 10 years. And you want me to help you with a painting? I don't know, I could, but we might all end up on the hangman's noose. So I gotta warn you on one thing, I'll do it. But if I do, I'm famous for painting over stuff. I might set it on fire. Anything could happen. But let's see what we can do. Make a good painting.
That's right, folks. The one and only James Gurney is the next artist on this YouTube collaboration project. James has been one of my biggest influences for many years now. I was really nervous to ask him to be the next artist on this project, as I haven't spoken to him in over 10 years. I had the opportunity to meet him and his wonderful wife Jeanette at the Baby Tattooville Artist Retreat in Riverside, California around 2012, where we worked on a collaboration canvas very similar to this. James is famously known for his profound world-building abilities through his series of books titled Dinotopia. It is his very world-building ability that spoke to me so much as a young artist. His process is one to watch and study as well, as he often sculpts miniatures of the subjects and scenes he paints as models for the final product. They in themselves are masterpieces. His stories of traveling the country by hopping freight trains and painting at every stop when he was a young man are fascinating as well, and I highly recommend that you check out all of the many interviews he has out there on YouTube. His own channel is a must-see as well, as he breaks down his process very concisely and highlights his various techniques in plein air paintings. His books are absolute gems and informative, Color and Light being an example of just one that is instructive and entertaining at the same time. I don't know if I would be the same artist that I am today if had I never been introduced to James's work and his wild imagination. Seeing his work gave me permission to explore my own imagination, and I'm beyond thrilled to be able to introduce him as the next artist on this traveling painting project. Take it away, James, and please don't set it on fire. Hurry up, man. I don't pay you to paint so slow.
You don't pay me at all.